What's going on, everybody? What is happening? What is going on with the peoples this weekend? Watching lots of football here. I know that. And I am super stoked to be with you guys tonight. Got a lot to chat about tonight. If you're brand new to the channel, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part. These lives that I'm doing currently are recaps of games that I'm playing with teenagers that I'm teaching how to play role-playing games. Castles and Crusades is a whole playlist on that if you're interested in that. Which, by the way, our finale of the Castles and Crusades is happening Tuesday, I want to say. So there'll be a recap for that coming up through this week. Then there is the 5e, which is tonight. I'm doing 5e with another group, and so we'll be recapping that tonight. There's a whole playlist on Tiny Dungeons, so it's a D6 mechanic there. So if you're interested in that, there's a whole playlist for that. All the links for that will be down in the doobly-doo down there. But if you're, like I said, if you're brand new to the channel, you're not a member yet, and you're just seeing this live somewhere, and you're interested in role-playing games, or if you're interested in DM advice, or reviews, or doing game recaps, or if you want to know how to, teach young people how to play role-playing games, well, this might be the channel for you. Be sure to go and click that subscribe button. And a few things before we get started tonight. A few things you need to know. First of all, my Crit Happens zine is currently at 50% off. This is my Crit Happens. This particular bundle here is all about Kriesh, which is my setting that I developed through my Crit Happens zine. I have a few other Crit Happens zines that are not Kriesh related, but this particular bundle is going to be 50% off. Normally $2 each. Now they're only $1 a piece, so you can get a whole bundle for $9.99. You can see there, that's a lot of zines. So check it out. Link will be, I may drop it in the chat here as well. So if you are interested in that, otherwise later on, if you're watching this later on, links will be down below. If you're interested in finding a new setting for your players to go adventuring through, well, this might be a good one for you and for your players. So be sure to check it out. Let's see what else here. I bought something cool. A little news for you if you're interested. If you have a Five Below near you. Let's see. I'm going to show you some dice here in just a second. Here we go. Let me go ahead and drop the link to the bundle first, and then we will carry on. Let's see here. Let's drop this here. All right. So there it is in the chat. You can check it out for yourself later. But yeah, this little thing here, these dice, these campaign dice to go are only $3 at your local Five Below. So I'm going to open this up. We'll check it out together. It's not terrible. I like it. It's got a little case. If you're just wanting to grab and go, you can always find that, to be efficient, right? Just kind of have your dice there. And then let's see, we'll open it up here. And they're a nice little lime green. The lettering is kind of a white, maybe silverish. It's not terrible. Let's see here. If you can see that. A little blurry. We'll back it up, back it up, back it up. All right. So it's not terrible. But for $3, I'm gonna buy it, right? I'm gonna buy it for $3. For $3, see how my rolls here look. Yeah, they roll pretty good. I think the numbers could be a little bit darker, maybe, or brighter, I should say. Maybe that's a better way to say it, to where they could pop a little bit more. But I think because they're silverish, that's kind of the what you get. But I'm happy with them. Like I said, just to keep it around, and I'll wind up giving it. Oh, that's different. The six-sided is. Hold on here. This six-sided is weird looking. Hold on. What is this? 4. Oh, this is a 4-sided. Okay. So the 6-sided. Look at this 4-sided. It's not a triangle. That's maybe the first time I've ever seen. No, it's not. Not the first time I've ever seen a dice that's not four-sided, because you have obviously cylindrical ones, those kind of things. But this particular kind here, I don't think I've ever seen this kind of shape. All right, well, I like that. I don't hate that. It's kind of a cool little design there. At least if you step on this in the middle of the night somewhere, you're not gonna scream or go to the hospital or anything. So that's not terrible. Let me see. Okay, well, it rolls pretty good. Not terrible, not terrible, but I like it. But anyway, little tip for you out there: if you have if you need some stocking stuffers, you can get this for $3. If you have some gamers in your life and they need some dice, well, be sure to go ahead and get them some dice from Five Below if you have that store near you. All right, so let's get into the adventure here that I'm playing with these kids. These kids, I tell you what, this session that I'm playing is a 5e adventure, and the 5e adventure is called the Ivory God. The Ivory God. Let's see here, here it is right here. Yeah, the Ivory God, the Ivory Idol, excuse me, the Ivory Idol from Elven Tower. And I'll put a link here as well. These are not super expensive. I think they're, let's see here. I don't know, this one's like $1 or $2 or something like that. So there's a link to that. And I'll show you some pictures here. Let me go over here to the pictures. And I'll kind of give you the rundown here. So what we have here, and let me go ahead and expand this out a little bit. You can see a little bit more. There we go. So what we have here, and I'll move this over here. The Ivory Idol is all about, and you can see here, let me lower this a little bit. It has been, they did not, the game I'm playing, the people that I'm playing with, that I'm teaching right now, is a brother and sister at one of the Boys and Girls Clubs that I work at. And I tell you what, normally I see this brother and sister usually poking and fighting with each other, but in the game, they are locked in. They are locked in, man. So it doesn't shock me because, when I feel like, when things get tough, family comes together. And I find that to be true in this case, even though it's a role-playing game. But I feel like they are spot on. And the things I'm going to tell you here are going to be a lot of fun as far as their things they've done. So anyway, their goal, their mission here was to save farmers. The farmers have left their harvest fields. They have been mesmerized. A tablet that by one of the farmers to town showed it to everybody, and everybody who read it was mesmerized and walked off their farms, right? And just walked off and found this temple where the farmer had found it. And I kind of gave them clues throughout that you can see these tusks down here. And up here, I have this elephant. This is a model from what setting is this? It's a Magic the Gathering setting. It escapes my mind at the moment. Let's see. Can I see it from over here? Nope, my eyes are probably too bad. But anyway, this particular you can play an elephant in that particular setting. And anyway, it is an Ivory Idol, and this Ivory Idol is the source. It's basically, this is the manuscript, if you will, of its believers. And when it was taken, it was, people that read it was like, oh, this is magnificent, and it would mesmerize them and cause them to walk off and become idol worshippers of the ivory god there. And so one of the young man is playing a feline character, a tabaxi, and the young lady is playing a barbarian. And the tabaxi is playing. The tabaxi is going to be a cleric. And this is going to matter because one of the key elements, one of the key fun parts here. So when they started, and by the way, these pieces right here, these are the farmers. So they are running away from the farmers because these farmers are trying to get them to either worship the idol or wind up wind up attacking them, which is what happened earlier. So when they went down this particular hallway, they got to here. This was kind of a meditation room, and there was like women and children in there. The barbarian, I said, well, what do you want to do? Well, she said, I want to kick down the door. And so her character rolled a 20 and smashed the door in. I mean, just kicked it right off the hinges. It was tremendous. Anyway, she got in there, though, and all these women and children just started to climb all over them. And here's one of the smart things that the cleric did. Her brother wound up and did a thaumaturgy. Now, this is probably one of the used, sometimes, right? I mean, it's occasionally used, but maybe not as much. At least I can say this. I don't remember using thaumaturgy very much when I've played a cleric. But in this case, he made a smart play, and he says, well, I'm going to turn, because one of the features here, how you know that they are mesmerized, so they have these orange glowing eyes. And so anyway, he says, I'm going to use thaumaturgy. I'm going to make it look like the barbarian's eyes are mesmerized. I said, that is a great plan. I mean, just smart thinking, right? Just smart thinking. And so he winds up doing that, and excuse me. And so anyway, the kids and the women and so forth are all, they climb off and they go back to their kind of worshiping area. And then they come back through, they get to here, and then they finally see where the idol is. And then they do, there's people, worshipers in there and so forth. And now the idol comes to life. So now we have an elephant that is roaming around, which, by the way, cannot get through this door. It's not going to get through the hallways. But if they get over to this area, I believe I will have the idol break through the wall because it kind of senses that they're there. So I'm going to probably do that. Now, when they ran out of here, they have farmers also. These are the farmers that from this worship area that are attacking them and trying to follow them. And I find the pace of that, I've tried to build it very cinematic, if I can, of, that they're in here doing things, but each round, these guys are moving a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. And so the tension is building. And, in this small hallway here, they were trying to fight. They were trying to do some things. And the rolls weren't working. So it kind of worked with what it was, what they were in. And they just wound up taking off. So then there was these bars over here. And they wanted to get through these bars. So, well, what do you want to do? And the cleric said, and this is probably the best roll of the game. The cleric said, well, I want to use my, my flame strike. And I said, okay, you want to use your flame strike. Okay, so you're going to use this. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if that's going to be hot enough to melt those bars. I said, would you like to increase your chances? I mean, I said, you're trying to do this and you're calling upon your deity. Well, I'm trying to, get them to role play a little bit more. So what he figured out was, well, I'm going to offer my torches. Since I'm using fire, I'm going to offer my torches to my deity. I said, great. That's awesome. It's a great idea. So he puts the torches in the ground, lights all the torches, and then commences to, I said, you want to roll on a D20 or you want to roll percentile? He says, well, I'll roll percentile. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to give you a 65% chance. 65. And instead of having them roll under 65, I had them roll over 65. I said, that's a little weird, right? But I said, no, I'm going to go ahead because this is, he's trying to do something really epic here. And lo and behold, he rolls the dice and he gets a 99%. I said, wow. I said, the flames, the torches all around you super ignite. They They funnel in on you. In other words, all the flames from all the torches are, generated on you to make you to where your flame strike is going to be so hot that what happens, it comes through your fingers and it literally melts the iron bars. And that was first of all, it was a cool idea on his part that he figured out, okay, I'm going to put these torches all around me. So he had this kind of centering, kind of deal going on, which I thought was just phenomenal. And so he winds up doing that and just does a great job of, he rolls the dice and he got it. So it was to me one of the key roles of the game. I think just the cinematics of it was really cool. So they go through, they get in here, and not pictured, there are, in this particular room, they had, there was a bunch of sigils, banners and stuff like that were, old and a little ratty and things like that. And so speaking of ratty, they're ratty because they're not only were they ratty because of age, but they were also ratty because there were rats in there. So I had 2 or 3 rats that were in there that they decided to fight so they could use, because they're not allowed to, they're not allowed. I mean, they chose not to harm the farmer. The farmers are the ones that are trying to, they have to rescue them. They can't kill them. Otherwise, it's a failed mission. So they had to fight some rats so they could, actually, demolish something if they want. Of course, they'll have the option of the idol as well to be able to, be able to use their powers with as well. So I'll put enough obstacles there for them to be able to tackle. And right when we ended, we had ended probably right on the time we should have. And right there is where all these guys are now at the door. So they're at the door there, and they are, that's where we pick up. That's the cliffhanger there. And by the way, I think he tried to do a flame strike again. It failed. And I think he just wound up setting the room on fire. So the room is on fire. They are caught in the room. Smoke is filling the room. And now they have these farmers they got to deal with. So, the longer they stay in there, the longer there's going to be, some smoke inhalation, things like that. So they're going to have to deal with that. So they're going to have to get down here. There's a few more rooms they can go to. So there's some stuff they can do. And otherwise, I think that it was a pretty successful session. It was only about an hour long, which is fine. This is only about a 3-hour game, probably a 3-hour session if you were to play it straight through. And we didn't spend a lot of time up front. I basically had a brief conversation between them and the Lord who wants this tablet, this orangish glowing tablet. He wants it for himself so he can bring it to a meeting of lords. He does not share this, of course, but his intention is to mesmerize the lords or the lords' children to do his bidding so he can be able to take over their land. So I think they're aware of it, of what his intention might be. They did not do any kind of insight check or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll see if they wind up giving it to him or not giving it to him, and we'll see what happens. But that's the adventure. That's the recap. Once again, 5e, 2014 version, by the way. The 2014 version, and there's just some cool elements, and I think it was a pretty successful session. So let me go ahead and jump back here with all of you. Let's see here. Get back to this. Get back here, and So I hope that you guys enjoyed the recap. Like I said, I have a session coming up this week for Castles and Crusades. You say, Paul, why don't you teach the same game to all the kids? Well, first of all, it's a challenge for me, but I also want to, not a challenge in the sense of it's a challenge in the sense of not playing the same thing or playing the same adventure. I'm trying to out new systems for myself. Castles and Crusades I've played before. Tiny Dungeons I had never played before. It's a 2d6 mechanic, and then 5e I've played lots and lots of 5e. So. And now, after that, in January, go ahead and stick with one of those, maybe. I don't know. There's some other systems. I know Shadow Dark is a great system. I don't know if I want to make it that hard because it's a teaching scenario, right? So I don't want to make it that hard. Once they learn things and they can learn the different systems that are out there, then maybe I'll do Shadow Dark at another time. But you know, them keeping up with their, you'd have to see the kids. By the way, these are middle school kids. I'm not, and they would probably do well at Shadow Dark. It just, you know, trying to keep, they're really focused on everything but their torches. I like most parties. They're not thinking about their torches. They're not thinking about certain things. And so I'm gonna let that wait for a little while. But anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget, like I said, links down below. That if you have not gotten the Crit Happens bundle yet, be sure to go ahead and check that out. 50% off, only $1 a zine there. And don't forget, you can get these really cool dice over at Five Below. So if you're looking for some stocking stuffers, I picked that up today for $3 whole. And yeah, so I will be going and checking out, let's see, I'll be checking out some other things this week with some students, and I'll recap those games with you, those sessions with you. So be sure, if you're not a subscriber yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and you'll get videos like this in your inbox on a regular basis. So that's it for now, guys. Appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one, everybody.